Austin 316 just said, I just whoop your ass and I listen to Dish Won't Kill My Vibe because that's the bottom line.
Stop.
What?
It's fake. That was so fake.
What?
Just like wrestling.
I've told you, never say the F word. Okay?
Fake news.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this match is scheduled for one fall. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome, everybody. Dish Won't Kill My Vibe, episode number 11. Yes, that's right. Today is actually going to be a very fun episode because I get to bring in one of my side passions and talk about that in this video. I'm going to get to mix these two worlds together. So, no, it is not basketball. I love basketball. That is a fact. But today, I get to actually talk about the world of professional wrestling. Yes, wrestling. And look, I'm going to go on a rant right now just to start off because this is something that as a wrestling fan, I understand, okay? We completely understand because it's not as popular as it once was. And it doesn't have the mega super appeal that it did back when like Stone Cold and The Rock and whatever. We completely understand that. It's a niche. But for the love of God, stop telling us that it's fake.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Like, we don't care that it's fake. It's not fake. These guys are pure athletes who train. They work hard. They eat right. They do all the right things to put on a show 300 days of the year. During COVID, they didn't take a break. They were doing this in an empty arena and just you hear all the sound effects in the rings. They miss the fans so much. So every time the fans say stupid shit like, "This wrestling is fake," oh, you know that's fake, you know? Like, no, it's not. It's scripted, but you try to take a bump off of a 15-foot ladder and fall on your back. You're going to feel something. Okay, anyways. Game of Thrones is real? No. Jesus. Today I'm actually going to be talking about a wrestler who's kind of on the independent scene, but he's actually on the rise. He's getting a lot of credit lately. He's getting a lot of notoriety, and he's doing really big things. His name is Mr. Chris Bey. Oh, I just went through puberty saying that because, man, he's a phenomenal wrestler. Mr. Chris Bey, okay?
All I really need is one shot. Now they trying to get their hands in the pot.
From the Bay Area, AVA, Chris Bey!
Chris Bey!
If you watch Impact on... they're not on Twitch anymore, right? Or Access TV. I guess Access TV still has them. I'm not sure what's going on with their TV deal. Well, Mr. Chris Bey, phenomenal wrestler. He's high flying. He's built like a Greek god. He's got these cool dreadlocks. He's got this swagger to him. Like that's kind of like somewhere in between like P Diddy and Shawn Michaels all wrapped up in one. He's an awesome guy, and I actually have to give a shout out to the internet, actually Facebook groups, which is the only reason why I would keep Facebook, to be honest. In 2021, like I hate reading the stuff that gets posted on Facebook statuses from high school friends that I've known and stuff like that, especially around like political season. Like that was the worst. But Facebook groups are a great tool where you can find fellow nerds like myself and other wrestling nerds out there. And I've got to give a lot of credit to a lot of my wrestling friends that I met. You know, everybody in Vendetta Inc., everybody in the BWO, everybody in NAW.
I appreciate you.
Which is the group that introduced me to, Chris Bey. Like, he's like just always active in there. He's always getting posted by some of his truest fans like Rel. And he does a great job out there, and it's awesome. Like, you get to interact with like certain wrestlers. So NAW is the Nation of African American Wrestling. It's a great group. Shout out to Jabari. You're doing a great job with that, man. You should be proud of that. And all the other admins that help out that make that group pretty fun. But that's the only reason why I know the name Chris Bey. And it's pretty awesome that, like, I've had moments where he's laughed at some of my memes and comments and stuff like that. So when I found out that this man also makes music on the side, I was like, yo, I have to go listen to this, man. I gotta go support this.
You know we got your back like chiropractic.
So I just found out recently through a post on there that he put out an album called Expectancy. And now, Chris Bey, I don't know what to say about this, okay? Because your wrestling talent aside, like you are a very multi-talented person, my friend. Like, you are incredibly talented, okay? So, like, here's how I honestly feel, man. Like, this is nothing personal against any of us, okay? And I hope we can just have a conversation. But I think your album is very good, man. Like, honestly, like, I think you have an 8-track album. There's a lot of good songs on there. A lot of songs where I actually wish that they were a little bit longer than they were. And I don't know if I don't know if you're gonna like this comparison, but somewhere in between like Juice WRLD minus the depression and Wiz Khalifa, like when he was like recording for Fast and Furious, that's kind of the sound where I'm getting when I was listening to your music. And that's not a bad thing, you know, but if you're listening to this album out there and you're like, okay, I kind of like Juice WRLD, I kind of like Wiz Khalifa, I might like Chris Bey. And so this is an album for you. And now I totally get it. Like you just wanted to kind of showcase a little bit of everything that you wanted to you know, that you're capable of showing, you know. A couple of these tracks did sound a little you know, like repetitive to me. Like like the beats are a little similar. But man, like when you hit on like just the opening track, My Way, like that's a catchy track, and you got a little guitar in the back going on, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I kind of like this, you know. But it's over, like instantly, like just when I'm getting into it, I was like, okay, maybe that's just the intro track or whatever. But does kind of show like, okay, I needed a little bit extra on there. You have a lot of good topics on here. Like I think my personal favorite track, Find My Soul. Like that's where you're just like pouring your heart out, and I think like that's a good track for you, and that's the type of sound I'm looking for. But that's what I wanted to talk to you about, because I think the struggle that I was having, like making this, like tell me like, okay, like what's gonna make this a good album to a great album, is that like I wasn't too sure of what your sound is going to be like. Like that track, Find My Soul, I think that's such a good personal song. Like you go all in on that one, and you know I like the catchy hooks that you have on actually all your songs. They're all pretty good. Like I know like you take a lot of time in crafting a good hook, but in between that, it's just kind of like, well, what am I listening to? You know, I'm trying to like listen to, like, am I listening to a story? Like from your perspective as a wrestler, like I don't know if we're gonna talk about, you know, the things that you had to overcome in this industry, or what you had to sacrifice as a younger person to get to where you are today and where you're going to be at. And that's okay. Like I completely, like, this is not like me hating or anything like that.
Well. The most diabolical haters this side of the Mississippi.
Because I think the beauty of this album is that if you keep up with this track, of this like musical track that you're on right now, when you look back after your like third album or fourth album, you look at your first album and you're like, yeah, you know what, man, like I've come such a long way. I've grown, I've matured as an artist, I've done so much. So this is a good album that I think that you laid the foundation at. So like I would honestly, like I'd rank it like a 7.5 out of 10. Like that's a pretty good foundation to have. You get to introduce your fans to what your sounds are, but from there you kind of have to like figure out like, okay, like what type of sound am I going for moving forward? You know, like what am I trying to you know, portray in my music? And I look, as somebody who's going to be traveling as much as you do, and you know, the busy schedule that you have, like I think it's amazing that you can just find time to go out and record. So like that's nothing against you or what you put out at all. It's just that, you know, when you finally will look back at this and you'll be like, okay, well, you know, I've got good areas to improve on. I did some things right. I did some things that I could have changed up a little bit, but overall, it's good work, man. It's good work. So if you haven't, go check out Chris Bey's album. Go watch his YouTube. Go watch his matches on YouTube, and keep that name in mind because I feel like you're definitely going to see that in the future of wrestling for the years to come. Maybe like at least the next 5 years for sure. So, but anyways, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Until next time, peace.